National Highway 69, the main artery through the geographic heart of India. I'm on my way to witness what I'm told will be one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. But first, I need to arrive in one piece. My destination, a small mission hospital that dreams big, where the community will soon be caught up in something extraordinary. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Stuti and Aradhana, 11-month-old twins, are the stars of this tale. That's Stuti in the orange and Aradhana in the green.
Oh, are you trying to walk? Are you trying to walk? Very strong legs.
And the support cast, 3 doctors from Australia who've accepted an enormous challenge to help give these twins new life at this simple country hospital.
What about you? You like the glasses too?
What happens here will captivate a nation of more than 1 billion people and put the spotlight on the way India treats baby girls. Life in India's central state of Madhya Pradesh is typically poor. Most live off the land and hand to mouth. They have a hospital at the tiny settlement of Padhar, but it's 200 kilometres, about a 4-hour drive from the nearest major city. And it was here that a 22-year-old farmer's wife arrived, giving birth to twins and in trouble. It was days later, when she emerged from the fog of her own recovery, that she was shocked to find they were conjoined.
Within a week of their birth, the parents had decided that they didn't want the children because of their deformity and the fact that they were poor. And there may have been also an element of the fact that they were female children. We're not too sure about that.
Dr. Deepa Chowdhury and others stepped in to care for the twins, who were signed over to the hospital. There's plenty of love to go around here. Stuti and Aradhana have become part of a great big family.
Well, they are absolutely adorable. If you see Stuti, she's shy. She'll smile, but she's shy. And Aradhana, she'll see from a distance and her face will light up and she'll be pedaling away and waving her hands and cooing. And yeah, they're really adorable.
It's only in the last few weeks that Stuti and Aradhana's mother has been back at the hospital and by their side.
This is the mother?
Yeah.
These are your babies?
Yeah.
Oh, they're beautiful. You want to see your mummy? Do you want to say hello to your mum?
Oh, say hi, Mum.
The return of the twins' mother has unsettled staff who've been treating the children as their own. But Mother Maya tells me while she left the children at the hospital where they'd get the best care, she's changed her mind because they may soon be able to live a normal life.
अच्छा नहीं था, बस तबीयत खराब होना, जब इनकी याद करती थी तो बस बुखार आना, ऐसे सब होता था।
दुखी थे आप?
हाँ, बहुत दुखी थी। हाँ, याद आती थी। पर हम कर भी क्या सकते थे, हमारे पास ये अब तक नहीं रह पाती, इसलिए हमने यहाँ पे छोड़ी।
but from this congregation they send the whole university.
The ambitious plan to separate the twins was hatched by two Indian doctors who studied together. Paediatric surgeon Dr. Gordon Thomas, who now works in Sydney, and Dr. Rajiv Chowdhury, now the head of Padhar Hospital.
He called me and told me that these girls were born and if I could come and help separate them. So I said, "You're kidding. You're going to do it here?"
We kind of stuck to our guns and said we will do it over here because they belong to us, and if there is something that is needed of us, we have to be able to step up to the challenge.
It's certainly that. So they recruited the best in Australia, two eminent doctors from the Children's Hospital at Westmead in Sydney.
The other bit, the lower ribs down, you can cut it with the scissors. Yeah. Okay.
Leading the team is renowned paediatric surgeon Dr. Albert Shunned, who saved the lives of hundreds of children through 250 liver and 100 kidney transplants.
So I'm optimistic this will happen here. The operative procedure should go as according to plan, and I don't anticipate too much difficulty. But having said that, there's always maybe some surprise, and we've got to deal with that as it comes. That's it. No, keep going. That's it. That goes back to the heart.
Dr. Shun and anaesthetist Professor David Baines are veterans of this kind of complex surgery. They've each been involved in the separation of 3 sets of conjoined twins, and they've paid their own way and donated their time to attempt it again.
I get an enormous amount of gratification doing it. I get far more out of it than what I put into it. But I think the most important thing about it is working with people who are like-minded, who are professionals and who just get a job done.
I think this one's more mischievous, isn't it? Yeah.
Stuti and Aradhana have separate hearts, but they're in the same sack, so that'll have to be split and made into 2. Even more complex, they share a single liver. Scans show that one of the girls might be missing 2 of the 3 crucial veins that drain blood from the liver.
Yeah, there is a concern. Yeah, there is a concern.
The tiny community of Padhar has never had so much attention. The fate of the girls has been national news for months. The parents' decision to abandon them analysed and judged by the Indian media.
She doesn't want to say anything.
Sir, please, office mein chaliye. We have a cup of tea, please.
This is the story of 2 lives, strangely intertwined into one.
When the hospital made a video about the twins to attract funding, they were catapulted into the national spotlight. Viewers donated the equivalent of thousands of dollars to pay for their separation.
Tuti, can I have the belly button? Let's toss for it.
Their case has sparked national debate about the treatment of baby girls. About 12 million Indian girls have gone missing in the last 3 decades because they've been either aborted or killed after birth.
In some parts of India, including this part, families find girls to be a burden because they have to put a lot into their education and into their growth and everything, and finally all that happens is that you have to give the girl away in marriage, and for that also you have to give what's called dowry. So they're not really looked upon as something that they want.
But Stuti and Aradhana's mother tells me she didn't abandon them because they were girls.
नहीं ऐसा भेदभाव कुछ नहीं कि सब यही समझते कि लड़की भी वही है और लड़का भी, लड़के से ज़्यादा लड़की को समझते क्यों इसलिए कि लड़की की ममता कुछ और होती है और लड़के उतनी आत्मा माँ पे कोई नहीं रखता और बच्चियाँ बच्चियाँ होती है.
This tiny community is suddenly on the map, and the sense of expectation is huge. Treated as VIPs, the doctors are publicly honoured in a ceremony of local officials to bless the operation. The medical team does a practice run. There are dozens of people in the theatre and even more opinions.
Just to say it again, after they've given us the baby, the first thing we should do is to catheterize. Okay? No.
But it's good-natured and productive.
Pretty chaotic.
Oh,
A lot of people.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
It's better to be chaotic now than tomorrow. I think you're the boss, but you're not.
Did you get nervous before an operation like this?
Yes. Every time you do a big operation, the nerve is a good thing, I think, because it makes you appreciate what you're doing, makes you more on edge, aware, hopefully to prevent a lookout for things, and makes you more alert.
It's the big day and the last chance to see Stuti and Aradhana as conjoined twins.
Hello.
Yes, my Dana.
The media isn't going to miss this shot. Their mother Maya is locked out, left to the mercy of the cameras. Inside, anaesthetist David Baines is leading the team preparing the babies.
I figure the best chance they've got to make a life of some sort of life is to be separate. So I think all you can do is offer them a chance, and the future will be what the future will be.
The anaesthetists are soon joined by the rest of the team. 24 Indian and Australian doctors will be working side by side to separate these two baby girls. The risks are great, but doctors are used to that.
You got to basically do harm to do good, and you got to sort of learn to dissociate with that. And the bottom line, you always look at and appreciate that what you achieve at the end is worth the suffering you're going to cause.
In the room next to the theatre, staff gather to watch the surgery on a live TV feed. All of them have been somehow involved in the care of the girls, and there's obvious tension, more so here than inside the theatre.
What's really significant is that you can see the two hearts in the same sack. It's a very romantic sight because it's two hearts touching each other.
So hard to describe, but it's just two little hearts beating together like that. For the last time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Then they'll be separate now.
Separate hearts.
Amazing.
Amazing sight. I told you before.
You told me it'd be the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. Probably true.
The team separates Stuti's heart from Aradhana's, but there are a few tricky moments as the doctors have difficulty manipulating the two little hearts into place.
Stuti's fine. Both stable.
It's not just the surgery that's throwing up challenges. Even with the best efforts of the hospital to step up, this is still remote India, and some things are difficult to control.
Fly.
Should I catch it? No, you won't be able to get it. You won't be able to get it. I can catch it. You won't be able to get it. I can catch it. I'm betting. I can catch it. It's anaesthetized.
Got it?
Get it?
No.
Well, it's time for a breather for me. We're about 5 hours in, but there won't be much of a break for those inside until the surgery is complete. So far, the hearts have been separated, and the doctors are now working on halving their liver.
It's a painstaking process which takes hours.
You just have to be nice and slow and meticulous. And
Otherwise the anaesthetists get upset.
It'll bleed. And the anaesthetists are helping us by keeping the pressures low and all that.
The operation is almost over. Stuti and Aradhana are apart for the first time.
Okay, the last place. 5 o'clock exactly.
Are you happy now?
Oh, very. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Yes, yes, I got a cup of tea.
It seems everyone in Padhar has turned out to celebrate. There's sheer jubilation when word comes that the operation is complete. And when Stuti is wheeled out of theatre first, the joy erupts. Media swamp medical staff who have to carefully move the sleeping baby into ICU, dodging camera crews. It's chaos. I come across parents Maya and Hariram, shell-shocked at the edge of the crowd.
How are you? Your baby did very well.
They haven't seen their children since before the surgery began. Aradhana is also at the centre of the scrum when she's brought out of surgery a few minutes later, delayed by a complication. Anaesthetist David Baines is right in the thick of it for the second time, as he shepherds the sleeping baby safely through the bedlam.
That was something I'd never experienced before, and I am unlikely to experience again. Just as we went in the door, there was a spontaneous sort of cheering and applause went on, which was unexpected, I must say, and sort of exciting in a way to think, yeah, we have actually achieved something.
You want to go to see the baby? Okay. Let's hope they let us in. Dave? Just mum and dad only.
Yeah, just 10 minutes.
It's a confronting moment for their mother. Stuti and Aradhana are both in intensive care. Not only are both babies in a critical condition, they're in separate beds for the first time.
अभी तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा क्योंकि मेरे बच्चे इस स्थिति में अगर अच्छे होते तो वो ये स्थिति में नहीं रहते। अभी एकदम स्वस्थ हो जाएंगे तब मेरे को और भी अच्छा लगेगा।
Father Hariram has been keeping a low profile in the lead up to the operation, but he's here tonight.
यही हम सोच रहे थे कि स्तुति आराधना जिस तरीक़ा से अभी खेल रही है उसी तरीक़ा से मतलब आगे चल के ऑपरेशन होने के बाद भी इसी टाइप से उन्हें खेलना कूदना चाहिए हम ईश्वर से यही आराधना कर रहे थे.
The doctors are still at work.
Doesn't feel too tight. So. Doesn't feel too tight? No, the skin doesn't feel tight.
The twins make it through the critical first night. They'll need weeks of post-op care and many follow-up operations. But the work of the Australian doctors is almost done and they have to return to Sydney. the babies are still highly vulnerable to infection. It's difficult to leave.
No, she was a little upset yesterday. She wanted to pull out everything. So
we hope that things will go well for them, but at least now, touch wood, as long as everything goes well for them, that at least they've got a chance, and that's all we can offer them at this stage.
It's almost 2 weeks since I left Padhar to return to my base in Bangkok. The doctors have been keeping tabs on the twins from afar, and they've been keeping me informed as well. Then one morning, this email from Dr. Gordon Thomas. Dear Zoe, Aradhana sadly passed away early this morning. We thought she would make it. Sadly, she didn't. In Sydney, the doctors come together again to talk me through what happened. It's hard to know exactly why Aradhana died. A collapsed lung, infection, and the sheer trauma of the separation all probably played a part. In the end, her little heart just stopped.
They had attempted to resuscitate her for almost 6 hours. So they kept going for about 6 hours. So twice she actually returned, and then the third time it was actually quite, she just didn't. So they tried very hard. Unfortunately, she didn't make it.
So I guess...
So far away from Padhar, the doctors struggle to make sense of what's happened. The risks were high, but no one expected to lose a child.
In paediatric surgery, even though I do a lot of high-risk surgery, mortality is the low thing for us to cope with. We don't have many babies that died. So when actually someone that dies, it hits us pretty hard. I feel very, very sorry for the loss of the baby. And I was totally devastated that day.
Overall, the doctors stand by what they did, but there are inevitable questions about whether it was right to separate Stuti and Aradhana and at a remote hospital.
I feel that we did the best we could, and probably offered them the best chance they had. But that won't stop us asking the question over and over again, and it's something we'll think about for the rest of our lives.
For me, it's a long road back to Padhar, knowing that the community has lost one of its children. But I'm anxious to see how Stuti and her big family are recovering without her twin sister. Padhar's been national headline news all over again for all the wrong reasons.
The amount of planning that has gone into this was phenomenal, but strangely we were not ready for this event. And
amazingly, that never struck me, that we would lose a baby. So I don't think I even thought of death.
But there's another little girl whose recovery remains a reason for celebration.
Hello, baby. Hi, look at you. You remember me?
Stuti is well and truly up and about, and she remains the centre of attention at the hospital, even though Aradhana is desperately missed.
Stuti. Stuti.
Stuti has just turned 1. It's impossible to know if she realises she's lost her sister.
Before the surgery, it was very easy to carry the conjoined twins. You carry them both together and you can kiss them both at the same time. And I used to think, my goodness, it'd be so difficult when they are separated. How will I manage to carry both of them together? And that never happened. I never got to carrying them together. But yeah, Stuti is there, so I'm really grateful to that.
Today, Stuti is going to see her family. Her parents went back to their village soon after the operation and have seen her only a couple of times since.
No, she's never been. Just the first time she's
Going home for the first time.
It's many miles from the hospital at Padhar, and bad roads make travel difficult, especially now during the monsoon. It's a bittersweet moment for the family to welcome just one of their girls home. They had big plans for both Stuti and Aradhana to come back to live at the village after their separation.
मुझे बहुत खुशी भी हो रही है और एक तरफ से बहुत दुखी भी है क्योंकि मेरी दोनों बच्ची रहती तो साथ में आती इसलिए बहुत ज़्यादा दुख भी है और खुशी भी बहुत ज़्यादा।
Aradhana is buried by the river. Just days after her first birthday, she came here from Padhar for the first time to be laid to rest on her family's farm. Questions linger about Stuti's future. She has two homes, one at this simple remote village, the other at the hospital, where she'll need to spend a lot more time for further surgery.
Say mama, 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 mama. There will always be a place for Stuti if she comes to Pada to come home, and I think I'm glad that there is at least one. Both of them could have gone when you think about it. But at least the fact that we have one, I think that is a blessing. And I'm really grateful to God for that.
It's been a roller coaster ride for everyone who's been on this journey with Stuti and Aradhana. A tiny hospital in the centre of India has been propelled to prominence by a team of doctors. And in a nation that often mistreats girls, two babies captured the country's heart. Stuti remains a symbol of hope and survival for all.